Unicorn Chef Live, coming to you from your own kitchen. If you're cooking along with us, that is. I am your host, Bryson Bort, and I am joined by Dr. Katrina Rosseini. You know what? I'm going to update that in your name title. Here, see, this is us working this live. Boom.
There you go. Thank you.
So,
and on that note, I do want to do a shout out because we all just defended recently. So go DC5, George Washington University, our cohort. We all did well. We worked hard and we made it. So cheers to all the doctors.
All right, Katrina. First question to start things off before we start diving into the food is, who are you, i.e., what mistakes in life have led you to this moment? And then second, what charity are we highlighting and why? And then how can folks donate and or participate?
So thanks for having me on the show, Bryson. It's fun to see you in action. And also cooking is something that's very close, near and dear to my heart, growing up with a mother who's actually going to be authoring a Persian cookbook called Nushish June soon. So this is kind of a shout out for her too. She taught me some of these side dishes that we're going to make today. So who am I? I am in the cybersecurity world. I actually consult in the space. I run KRR Ventures Advisory. I advise capital markets side as well as the innovation on the quantum, cybersecurity, AI, healthcare side. I advise a handful of companies in the space, from founders to companies that are looking at scaling, business development, and also raising. So as far as my professional background goes, and so I've just finished my doctorate, as I mentioned, at George Washington University in engineering and cybersecurity analytics, and have been heavily involved with the community, more so recently with CR ISAC as a new chairwoman. Really proud to be part of this organization and all the good we're going to be working on. And the goal here is to work with great people like yourself, Bryson. So I'm excited to be part of all that. And I guess that transitions me into the charity of choice, and that is CR ISAC, so Civilian Reserve. Our website has all the information. You can take a look at them. I think if you could post that for everybody to view. We our focus is really making sure that the skilled workforce and the OT side, so for critical infrastructure, we're able to, there you go. We're able to actually help build that skill set, not just for the shortage that we all know we're dealing with, but also on the volunteer-based side. So it's an organization that last summer was founded by Major General Vic Macias, and he has put together an awesome advisory board, and we're all working very hard and with folks like you, Bryson, to make all this possible. So a big element of focus that we're having today is really on the workforce development side of CR ISAC. And please take a look at our website. We are looking for strategic partners. We're looking for donors. Our donor link is up on the website. You can find that there. We have a LinkedIn page. All of that is on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page, as well as Bryson's, I believe as well. So you can learn more about all that. We're going to be at DEF CON. Come and check us out, ICS Village. We're going to have a booth there as well. And so that's the organization. Hopefully that wraps it up.
Okay, so we will cover that back again at the end of the show. But set your ovens to 425 for those of you who are cooking along. For those of you who are new to the show, the chat gets really active. So feel free to jump in there with commentary, questions. We'll pop those up on the screen if they're good. And with that, Dr. Rosseini, Chef Rosseini, take us away. What are we doing here?
Hats today. Yeah. So we're going to be doing a dish that I feel like I perfected the salmon. I've made its thing, like, Malcolm Gladwell, I think, is the one who says 10,000-hour rules. I think I've hit at least 9,999. But at this point, I feel like I've perfected it, and I've shared it with a few people it's actually pretty easy. Like you said, you set it on 425, preheat your oven on, and make sure that once it gets to that point, in the meantime, as you're waiting, make sure you grab your salmon. I like the Atlantic. I'll make sure you get the Atlantic, and get the ones that have, like, I always tell people there's a little more fat. You can see that white. So you want it to have a little more fat. So find the pieces with the skin. Make sure you do not get the skinless one. And go ahead and open that up, give it a nice wash and dry it. So I will be doing that in a second. And as you're doing that, I'll tell you a little bit about, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I'll tell you a little bit.
We can hear you.
Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about the side dishes. So this is kind of the Mediterranean inspired. Salmon is extremely healthy and high protein, obviously. But I'm going to be doing a side dish that's more of a Persian. So my mother's side, we have Persian roots, and she makes side dish that's called masakiyah, goes really well. So this is a really good summer, spring, dinner, and it's refreshing, it's flavorful, and all of that. So I make it. She makes it with Persian white rice. I make it with quinoa, and I like quinoa, but a lot of people complain that quinoa doesn't have flavor, so I do chicken broth in my quinoa. So we'll be doing that. I like to cheat and put it in the rice cooker. So don't make fun of me there because it's set and go and it's easy.
Katya, you're going to laugh at this. I'm doing it the way your mother does it. I'm doing it with rice.
Yeah, I know you're doing it with rice, but
how did you know I was doing it with rice?
Because I just had this feeling you did. You were going to. I like quinoa though, so you could do it with rice. That's perfectly fine. White rice and salmon go.
I want you to tell your mother I'm doing it her way though.
But guess what? Quinoa has protein in it where rice doesn't. So one of the reasons I do quinoa is because I'm actually trying to increase my protein intake. So that's me. So
okay.
So I just finished cleaning the salmon. I'm going to show it to you guys. And I just some people don't do that. I wash it and then I dry it because I like it pretty like this. And then once I do that, I'm going to turn this over so you guys can see here. You take a pan and you put foil on it. I like to do that because there's skin and I don't want the skin to stick because at the end I want to lift it with the skin. So I just lay it on top, no oil or anything at the bottom. I just literally lay it on top like that and I'm going to turn this around. You guys can see here, I have all my seasonings and so forth. So you can use olive oil, but I have this white truffle oil and I don't put much on there. I'm going to show you guys how easy this is. So I just take kind of like my finger and I just kind of rub it on top of make sure you don't get it on the foil because if you're going to put it in the oven, that's not a good thing to have too much oil on there. So I just kind of rub it on top of the salmon a little bit. And like I said, if you have normal olive oil, that's what I do, but this is the fancy unicorn chef show, so I decided to do white truffle oil instead today, just for a little extra. So there you go. As you can see, just a little bit on there, and then I take, I'm a lover of dill, so I'll take dill, and I'll just kind of go over it. Some people don't like dill. You don't have to do dill. You can do like just salt and pepper. You can do garlic salt. I do dill, and then I add just a little bit of garlic salt, and it's a matter of how much salt you like on your salmon. So I just add.
Well, typically the wild-caught salmon has a good amount of salt already in it.
I don't like wild caught. It doesn't come out tasting as good, so I don't do wild caught. I do the Atlantic. So there's that. But you do you. And then I take the pepper, and then I put and this is super easy because people don't have time, right? So it's a quick, easy, yummy meal. So I just kind of pepper the top a little bit. And then I take, now some people like a little bit of pepper, like red pepper. I'll do just a teeny bit of red pepper on top. You don't have to. And that's not really Mediterranean to do it, but hey, whatever.
Whatever tastes good, tastes good.
Exactly. So it should look like this, basically. Very pretty. See that? And I already preheated my oven for 425. Now, everybody's oven's different. So I would highly recommend, keeping an eye on the salmon because you want to get it done, but you don't want it overdone, obviously, and you don't want it underdone because we're going to switch from how I like my salmon is I like it perfectly buttery and done on the inside, but crisp on the outside. So especially with the skin. So what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll just put it in there with my oven. I have a pretty good oven. I set it on like 18 minutes. So it's already preheated at 425. So I'll just, put it in there and then set it and forget it. But in the meantime, roughly around 15 minutes, I'll keep checking on it. So cook time, we'll set it for 18. Start. Let that go. While that's going, there's a couple things we're gonna do. We're gonna make a Shirazi salad, which is also a Persian, very very well known Persian salad. That's like I mentioned, mastokhiyar is the yogurt side of it. It's almost similar to like a tzatziki sauce, except it's a Persian version, and it's more refreshing to have like with.
I like that Persian version.
Yeah. Well, there's the other saying. There's Persian's persuasion. All right, so let that go. Make sure your give me 1 second. I gotta grab something.
Who's cooking along at home? What are you making? How you doing?
Okay, I'm back. So while that's going, I'm gonna grab my quinoa because we got to get that going. So if you have your rice quinoa, I take 2 cups. So measuring cup is important. So make sure you have, 1 cup, not 2 cups. 1 cup should serve, a few people, depending how hungry your people are. I'll make 1 cup, hit the 1 mark. And then I'm fancy, so I have a rice cleaner thing. If you have one, I highly recommend it. If not, put it in a bowl and try to rinse it, because I like to rinse my rice and quinoa and all that. So I give that a little bit of a rinse. And then I put that, I set that in the pot. And then I take another measuring cup. I have a few of those. I love my measuring cups. And I add, so you can have any chicken broth. I like the low sodium one, but the regular sodium is fine too. Especially if you like salty foods. I'm not a big salty food person, so you want 2 cups of the chicken broth, and don't go less than that. With rice, it's perfect. With quinoa, sometimes it's like a little undercooked, so it's a little different, but I'll go slightly even over 2 for the quinoa. So that's what it looks like. And then pour it in there. So then this is going to give your quinoa flavor too. So again, like if you are like, ew, quinoa doesn't taste good, this is going to actually make it taste good. And then I take what will make quinoa taste even better? Butter. So go grab your butter.
For those of you who are wondering why I'm standing here, it's I started my rice before the show, and it's slowly cooking over there. And then a little technique that I use is because the stems of cilantro can be kind of woody, but you can still harvest that flavor. So I cook it in with the rice really low and slow over the whole episode.
So what I'm hearing is you're seated and you're just hanging out now, having a drink.
And at the moment, until I'm making something else.
Well, that's okay. Did you add butter to yours?
Of course. That's actually my whole butter makes all the difference when you're doing rice. And then for me, since I never measure anything, I use what I call the Chinese grandmother method. I just sort of eyeball the amount of water that's about pinky's worth above the line, and that's it. The butter makes it all, gives you a lot of space.
That's how my mom does it too, actually. So I'm that's like the old school way, right? You know what you know.
I'm old school.
There you go. So now I want to get to the Shirazi salad. We're gonna save the yogurt one, the mastokhiyar, until the end because that's super easy. But I started grating the one. So you want Persian cucumber. Don't get the English cucumbers. It's all about the Persians. So you want to get
a cucumber a Persian cucumber.
It tastes better.
I'm sorry. Your cucumbers look the same as my cucumbers.
No. There's a difference. The skin is very different. The, for me, the flavor is different. Its flavor is different. The skin is different. I mean, I don't know. What does the audience think? Let's ask them.
Well, I'm going to be probably with the audience on that, in that I bought the cucumbers I could get. There were no Persian cucumber options, and cucumbers were cucumbers.
What do you mean there were no options?
I had regular cucumbers and I had English cucumbers. Those were my two cucumber choices at the grocery store.
Oh, you didn't have the choice. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that. I will rub it in harder then, because
not all of us have the privilege of Persian cucumbers apparently in our lives.
Okay, well,
add it to the list.
Make do with what you got, right?
I always do.
All right, so now what I like to do is grab a fancy bowl for the salad part so you can see it, because the salad's going to end up being pretty. So you want to take your cucumber and kind of chop it into 4, like that, and then little bits and pieces. I'm going to show you guys in a second. You're going to do a few of these, and obviously depends on how many people you got and you want to feed and so forth, but this salad does last, so maybe make more. It's a good meal prep side item too for those busy people. So you want to kind of chop those into bits, and I'm going to show you what I mean by bits. And there you go. So let me go through it again,
And you also wanted us to grate some and set that aside?
Yeah, so take one cucumber. Like if it's an English cucumber, they're typically larger, so you want to take half of one of those and grate it. No, not the larger grade. Like you want the grating to look like this.
Oh.
Not grated on the little.
You didn't specify, so I got really particular.
Do you remember the story about the tortoise and the hare? So remember what happened there?
Am I the hare in this story? Is that where this is going? You told me what to do. I just didn't specify.
I'm just saying. Now you have to go back and do it all over again. So
I didn't rush. You told me to grate. You didn't tell me how to grate.
You know, in cybersecurity, that'd be a fail, right?
Okay.
That's kidding. All right. So now I think what the best thing you could do is, if you do have Persian cucumbers, you want to do like maybe 4 or 5 of these. But if you've got like the English cucumbers and so forth, like 1, depending on the size, or 2 is probably 2 is fine. So make sure you chop these down. You want them to kind of look like this or smaller. See how little these guys are? So I'm going to work on this. And while I work on this, I'm actually curious, like, have you ever made any Persian food before, Bryson?
I mean, I've made, I would say, general Mediterranean. I don't know if I would claim anything as particularly one of the ethnicities inside that. I do have a pending guest who has been researching and is going to be publishing a Mediterranean book, where what she did, so she and her husband live in Greece, and she went to, I want to say, 13 of the countries that make up the Mediterranean diet, and then highlights the individual nature of each of the countries within that. And that's a book that she's going to be coming out with, and I'm hoping to get her on the show to talk about that.
That's awesome.
I also want to get your mom on the show to talk about her Persian cooking book too.
I know, she would love that. I'll be her sous chef. She's very bossy in the kitchen, so I kind of have to just listen to her.
Is that like the tortoise and the hare in reverse there?
Yeah. Well, no, I actually do listen to her.
Oh, okay. It's more like the scorpion and the frog.
Yeah. So she's a really good cook, and so she likes to have nobody in the kitchen. She gets annoyed if people are in her way. But if we do the show, I'll definitely help her out. It's fun to learn, like, you know, family recipes and things like that from different parts of the world. So as I'm kind of chopping the cucumbers up, there's going to be a little bit of chopping when it comes to the salad. That's the only thing about the salad. You gotta I decided to not do it all in advance because I figured if people wanted to follow, it'd be hard to follow, you know? All right, looks like we have another 5 to 8 minutes before we check the salmon. You want to take a look at your salmon in a couple of minutes, Bryson, just to see how it's starting to look?
Oh, yeah, mine's cooking pretty quick, actually. I don't think I need to go as far as I thought I did.
Give it a couple more minutes, like 2 maybe, and then switch it over to a high level broil because we're gonna crisp it.
We're gonna finish up with a broil.
Yeah. So maybe like you know your oven well, so I don't want to dictate that. I think that just get the salmon to a point where it's cooked, and then you want to flip it over to the broil at a high, and definitely get to that crispy look. And don't get scared about it's getting too crispy, as long as it's not looking burnt,
So question from the audience. Apparently you're an NFL quarterback.
What?
This is Ty. Here you go. When is Dr. Chef NFL quarterback coming out with a cooking book?
Well, I'm not the one coming out with a cooking book. It's my mom. I'm just inspired, and I just enjoy cooking and eating with friends, and food is a big part of my life too, which I think is a fun way to be, with others and have time together and things like that. So
yeah, but I still need the NFL quarterback part explained.
I do too. Why don't you ask Ty that question? I don't know where that.
Okay.
I do like.
I did ask that in chat. Did not get a satisfactory answer. So I figured I'd go to the source.
Asked about football, like quarterback football. Not really sure where that's coming from.
I mean, maybe Tara's the one who's jumping in on with it. That you're good at everything, so that's possibly where he's going. Where Ty's going.
Maybe that's where Ty's going. I don't know who this Ty guy is. He might just be a little on the,
Wow. Oven thrown down. That's the gauntlet equivalent.
I don't know. You never know these days, I'm more on the paranoid side.
Somehow I feel like you do.
All right, so now you want to get to the onions. So what I've learned a little trick, actually. You probably already know this, considering how much cooking we do. But when it comes to red onions, like some people don't like the flavor. It's really strong, right? So somebody said that what you could do is you could, like when you cut the onion in half, you could just let it soak in water. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it actually makes the overpowering flavor more mild. And it still holds on to the great taste that you're looking for in your salad without that overpowering flavor. So I tried that today. I put it in water for a couple hours, half cut. And as far as the onion goes, if you love onions, put as much as you want in it. I usually take about half a red onion. And and you want to, again, chop these into really small pieces. So take the red onion and just keep chopping it down to very small pieces.
So there's actually a trick to dicing onions the same way that you did the cucumbers. You can do that with onions too. So
yeah, I didn't do that, but I should have done that.
Yeah, I'm going to demonstrate for folks.
Great idea.
So what I'm going to be doing here is uncut onion, and you cross hatch. And so you can see I've got this nice little cross hatch in here. And then you just cut through and it automatically does it for you. Boom. Too easy.
Bryson, what's your favorite vegetable to cook or eat?
My favorite vegetable?
Yeah.
I've never, I mean, if I'm cheating, I would go with the French holy trinity of onions, garlic, and fat. So onions, but does that count?
I mean,
I pretty much have onions and garlic in about everything I make.
yeah, fair. I like garlic. Not a huge onion person. But
Tara wants to see how you're cutting your onions.
so I'm going to show.
So I think you roughly chop them and then you kind of dice from the chop.
Yeah, and they look like this. So, you know, just get them really finely chopped, basically. And I did a little bit less than a half, so it's just more for flavor than it is anything else. And then you're going to add that to the cucumbers. So I just kind of throw it on top of there. Back to you. So I picked this clear last, so you kind of see it's really pretty. See that? Bryson. You see that?
What was that?
I said, Bryson, do you see that? It's a
I
clear
do see that. It's very pretty.
Yeah, pretty it starts getting when you do it.
You have a prettier receptacle than mine.
You know, half of it is all somebody once, some wise person once told me half of it is about how you see it. It's your eyes, right?
Absolutely. Smell and eyesight are actually most of what forms our taste.
Yeah, so that's a big part of this. So now you're going to want to take. And I got these kind of heirloomish tomatoes, as you can see, farmer's market. And they're not huge, but I like them. Flavorful. So you want to like dice these up as well, but make sure you get rid of the seeds. So what I do is when I cut them in half, I just kind of like remove the center so they don't like have juice. So it'll look like this. Let me guess, you already cut up your tomatoes? Didn't got ahead? See?
I did.
Yeah. I assumed that. I normally don't assume things, by the way. But I'm seeing a pattern.
So on one hand, you went with the tortoise and hare analogy. I would just go more with my Army officer background of I'm always prepared.
Well, I'll counter that and say preparedness isn't an assumption. It's about strategic preparedness. Don't you think? Information is key in preparing.
Well, the true test will be when I taste it.
I'm sure it's going to taste great.
And I'm sure it's going to taste great.
So again, when you take them, I like to just like start slicing them, especially heirloom. They're hard to kind of cut. You just want to not smash them. You want to just cut through. And actually, you know what's funny? I'm not using a rice knife. I sharpened these today, my Wonder Woman knives. And, ooh, that's so much better. So sharpening knives is one of my favorite things because you get the best cut. And of course, I forgot I sharpened these earlier.
Is that your salmon?
So I'm sure you didn't sharpen the knives you have. I'm just kidding. They cut so well, even with heirloom tomatoes, you know. All right, so my salmon sounds like it might be ready at this point. So I'm gonna look at it, and yes, it's very pretty. So I'm gonna kind of show you if you can see. Woo! I have this tripod, so it's kind of hard. Now, can you see what that looks like? Do you see that?
Yep.
So now I'm gonna flip it over to broil hot and hit start and give about 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll just do 3 minutes for now because I don't like, you know, like I said, I don't want to go overboard here. So start. Doesn't seem to want to do that, so I'll keep an eye on the time myself then. Let's go back here while that's going. So does that mean your your rice is done?
So that's what I was saying earlier is I just do a really low cook through the whole thing, and my rice just sits at below a simmer for the whole time, and it cooks. And that way you don't have to worry about like the bottom burning, like in a paella.
Well, so it's funny you say that. Like Persians love the tahdig. We actually intentionally make it to where the bottom's crisp, where we put potatoes at the bottom, where there is a crunchy rice at the bottom. Especially goes well with the stews that are made too. So the crispiness you're talking about is different, obviously. But yeah, maybe next time. Maybe my mom will do that one. I'm not a pro like her.
Then we definitely need to bring her on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Let me get that. Fan going. Loud. There we go.
Salmon taste test. Thumbs up.
Look, is it crispy yet though?
No, I just was testing it before I broiled the skin.
Got it.
Okay, so you're still chopping the tomatoes?
Yeah, there's a little chopping going on here. Unfortunately, I picked heirloom tomatoes. Those are more work. The cherry tomatoes are much easier because you just kind of cut them in, halves or thirds, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did that with a medley of cherry tomatoes. So why don't you tell everyone about what's the story behind Wonder Woman? Why are we wearing a Wonder Woman apron today?
Well, it's a little bit of a sneak peek because of what we got going on at DEFCON. So our big slogan with CR ISAC is defending America, and this is our first our first DEFCON that we're attending, and so we're gonna have like stickers and fun little giveaways and things like that, and hopefully people can come to the booth and sign up and all that great stuff. And for me, I feel like our logo and what we're doing and the focus we have when it comes to critical infrastructure and getting people to want to be part of it has this like superhero vibe to it, right? Captain America, Wonder Woman. So for me, I've always been inspired by I love Marvel movies and superheroes and all that, and I've always grown up really into sci-fi, and so I pretty much have come to have, and I also have interest in art and so forth. And so I think you guys saw my piece. I have a Wonder Woman piece that was created for me a while ago. It's on my wall, and she's kind of a little bit of an inspiration for me. Like, I love the idea that the woman or a person, not just a woman, that you can kind of take on your passions and make a difference and be part of greater good. So it's played into a lot of the stuff that I'm involved in, and I've been on a board of directors of a hospital where we turned the hospital around. We've been, in rural communities and communities that really need it and the underserved. And so there's been a lot of good work that I've been lucky and fortunate enough to contribute to. So it's been a part of like my passion and everything I do. And so being in the cybersecurity world is just a very organic connection. And why not have fun while you're doing it, right? So that's kind of the idea. Now, you may want to look at your salmon. Mine is a little overly done now because I just took a look as I was blabbing, but that's okay. It's still good. I like it extra crispy, so I don't mind. My little bit more overdone than normal. Make sure yours isn't overdone. It looks good, actually.
Yep, I've even got a little pocket on the skin where it from the broiling.
Yeah, so mine might look like it's a little burnt. That's just kind of the oil and the crisp. I don't know if you can see that. So it's crispy. So and then let's go back. So make sure your salmon's been pulled out of the oven and it's letting, kind of need some cooling time and leave it alone. We're gonna shift back to the salad. Now you want to take out a handful of mint, and you're gonna want to chop that up. And remember, we're gonna some mint for the yogurt and mint for the salad. So depending on how much you love mint.
Does it have to be Persian mint?
Is there a Persian mint? I didn't know there was.
I didn't know there were Persian cucumbers, so I'm just asking everything at this point. We're all students, Katya.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't know that. Persian cucumbers are a thing. So now you learned something new on the show. There you go.
I actually, it makes me really happy because the homogeneity of how we have consolidated our produce, and our meats, is really problematic. So recognizing that there still are cultivating those kinds of strains and then that matters, I think is great.
Well, to add to that too, remember I'm in California right now, so I think we're also fortunate because for us we have so many, like for us it's farm to fork, for us it's farmers markets, and for us it's all kinds of different produce. We don't have just like one or two kinds of cucumbers, right? So that's one of the things that's nice about living in California, at least for now.
Well, that's the challenge we have in Florida is while we are also a large agricultural state, we're a lot hotter. And so growing something like a cucumber is probably more difficult here.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I was talking to my cousin the other day about this, and she was saying, I talked to all these people from other places and other states recently, and I asked them, well, what's your favorite thing about being in California? And they say, oh, I just love how fresh the vegetables and are here. And it's interesting because when you live here or you're from here, you don't think that because you're used to it. This is how vegetables are supposed to taste like. But when you're from other states where things are being, imported to your state, it's not going to taste as fresh, right? Whether it's because of climate and so forth. But yeah, we have a lot of delicious foods, and we're fortunate in that sense. Okay, so now going back to the salad, I just chopped up the mint, as you can see.
Sorry, Tara, I never had this happen before. I was trying to respond to you through the studio, and it said YouTube rejected my comment because it usually thinks it's spam. So two things. One, I'll share it when I'm cutting, and also my name's Bryson. Ford is my last name. That's, I think, worth putting up on screen, Tara. Ty wants to learn how to cut produce because he doesn't get a hot housewife soon.
What about a
Wonder Woman apron sold separately?
I'll even sign it for you.
Oh wow! That sounds like a wedding gift.
All right. Look how pretty that looks.
So we have tomatoes. Oh, are we putting the mint in?
Throw in the mint.
Throwing mint in. How much mint? As much as it just seems right.
Yeah, save a handful of it. Remember, we're also going to put a bunch of it in the yogurt.
Yep.
So you just want to put some in the salad, not like a ton. If you don't have enough, put more in the yogurt than the salad. Yeah, exactly. And then if you have cilantro, I like cilantro. Some people don't, and some people actually have allergies or can't taste cilantro or something weird.
20% of all people taste cilantro as a dishwasher. It's a genetic expression.
So if you taste cilantro as a dishwasher, do not put cilantro.
Do not put cilantro in.
So, I do have fresh basil from the farmer's market.
And Tara and Ty, sorry, mine's already chopped. So cilantro's just going right in. Do I need to save any cilantro?
No, but don't put a ton of it. It's just kind of more of a garnish and flavorish kind of thing. And I like to just take it and cut it up and, you know, chop it a little bit into fine pieces.
Sounds like you like to chop everything fine.
I do. I'm pretty meticulous when I cook. I've been told I'm pretty bossy too, but whatever.
But not as bossy as your mom.
My mom's more bossy. If you did get pomegranate seeds, I also like to put those in water and let it just soak so that like there's, you know, I'm picky about texture. Yeah, exactly. I'm picky about texture. Just so you know, I told Bryson before, he didn't do this on his own. But you want to like rinse it, and then after you do that, let it sit. You want to drain it. Then once you have it drained, you're not going to put the whole thing in there. I just kind of take like a hand scoop of it, and I just like mix it in the. This is not traditional. This is just me liking pomegranate, and it gives it a little different flavor. Just put like a little bit in there. Toss it in there. And if you do have basil, this is also not common, but I just take like a little bit of that. And you can just, you know, finally use your fingernails and just separate it and just stir a little bit that.
Yeah, I have fresh basil in my garden. That one I actually have both Italian basil and Thai basil, so I'm doing both. And then another little trick.
Very little, not so it's not overpowering.
Is the flowers that sprout on top of basil. You want to pluck those because that's what keeps your plant keeping the leaves going. But you can also repurpose the flowers inside like basil. Just comes right off, like just you can see it. Just they come off in little pieces.
Delicious.
And they're fun to add in because they taste like basil, and it gives like a little bit of pop to your meal. It's also a good way to garnish it on top.
Take pink salt if you've got some. Regular salt's fine. Pink salt's the preference. And just.
Are we going to be putting the feta cheese in this too?
Yeah, at the end. You don't want to do it now because you're going to mix it. So
the reason I'm saying that is because some feta cheeses can be really salty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you might want to be careful with how much salt you put in your salad right now, because then when you add the feta, you might find it a little over salted.
Yeah,
don't salt your salad.
I always recommend add like whatever you're going to add. Put a little salt in there. Taste it. If you want more salt, you can always add more. You don't have to overdo it. And then mix it around.
Another kitchen tip. So the reason that we like salt is salt actually is what helps your taste buds taste what's happening, which is why when something is bland, it doesn't have salt, you add a little salt, you can taste that. But another interesting thing, since Katya added red pepper into hers, spice can also overlap with that. Like you need less salt when you add spice into something because the two work together. Separately, you're going to have nothing, but together, that little bit of overlap, you need less salt.
Pepper, just a little bit on top of the salad. So I added red wine vinegar is what is used to. I will save that at the end, but grab your olive oil.
I made my own red wine vinegar by having a bottle that I never drank.
There you go. So grab your olive oil and put a fair amount of olive oil on top of it, like a Greek salad that you would, you know, and then mix it.
Here's my fancy olive oil.
So you know how much to put in there based on how you like it. So, and then you just mix the salad with the olive oil. And then after you do that, then you want to take your red wine vinegar. I just got this from Trader Joe's actually. It smells good. And you just want to like, I don't know if you can see this. Try to move this closer. The mess I've made here.
And the vinegar and the olive oil is also what's going to help this meal last longer for leftovers.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I just realized it kind of reminds me of like ceviche looking. You know what I mean?
Hey, what?
It looks like mine looks a little bit like a ceviche. My salad, but obviously there's no fish in it. I was gonna recommend that you taste it and see if you like the flavor, and based on what it's missing or needs a little bit more of, go ahead and add that. So I'll take a little taste.
I love the mint.
Not
Yum.
delicious. Mine needs a little more olive oil, a little more. And then mix it again. Well, don't be shy about adding your red wine vinegar. I think it makes it's super yummy. And then if you want to add a little more pomegranate, go for it. If you want to add a little more seasoning, go for it. I have my feta cheese. Bless you. I have my feta cheese. So you want to take the feta cheese, and I got the crumble, obviously, and I just
I have to chop mine. All right, that's something I have to chop. And this I have Israeli feta cheese.
By the way, feta cheese is not part of a Shirazi salad at all. That's more of a Greek thing, but I like feta cheese, so I do it. If you don't like cheese or don't like feta cheese, don't add it. The traditional way is without feta cheese. And don't
Who doesn't like cheese on everything?
Yeah, and don't add too much. Just enough for for a little flavor. Unless you just want to add a lot more, but go for it.
I'm going for it.
So good. All right. Yep. Now, what you want to do with that is put it in the fridge, because the whole point of the salad is it has to be cooled. So this is what mine looks like. So then I'm going to put it in the fridge.
This is what mine looks like. I need to be graded, doctor.
Huh? Oh yeah, that looks great. Does it taste as good as it looks?
Oh, I haven't tried it.
Try it. That's the thing about making food, is you can just kind of nibble away as you're making it. It's like great. While Bryson's trying his food, I'm gonna show you the next thing. We're gonna make the yogurt. So I mentioned get plain Greek yogurt. I got the low fat one. You can get the regular one. The regular one tastes better, obviously. So I have the Greek yogurt here.
Is it okay that I got the ones that has peaches already in it?
No, it can't be sweet. You're sweet enough. You don't need to add sweetness.
Oh, it's very kind of you. Don't worry, I got regular Chobani whole plain Greek yogurt.
Well done. Okay, so now you just want to get like a nice bowl. Where did I put my nice bowl? I'm just going to use this bowl for now. So you're going to take like a couple scoops of your yogurt.
And there I have Keenan in the audience. It is impossible to ruin anything with cheese.
What did he say?
It is impossible to ruin anything with cheese.
Oh, I agree. Cheese is just amazing. Love cheese. So so make sure your salt, dried basil. If you have fresh basil, chop a little bit of fresh, finely diced fresh basil. But you want it with the dried basil, because the traditional way is with dried basil. So you're going to take the yogurt and a little bit of your, and by the way, I do have 2 cups of basil colors. Makes it fun. I like having 2 colors, like purple and green, mixed together just for some color. And I chop up, like I said, finely chop up. This is like the theme of today's show, is everything finely chopped. And make sure the stems and so forth aren't in there. It's just the leaves. And then take that, as you can see, finely grated, and I just throw it in the yogurt. And I took like 3 scoops of yogurt, just so in case people want to see. And the reason you do like Greek yogurt, or you want a thicker yogurt, not like the syrupy, because that's not the point of the masticadar. And then you add salt, and you're gonna add, where's the dried basil? Oh, I guess this dried basil hasn't been opened, so shows you how much fresh basil I use. I really don't like opening these guys. It's annoying. What are you working on there?
I'm working on my yogurt sauce. I'm trying to find. I want to add some smoked paprika to mine.
Smoked paprika? I haven't thought about that. Okay, so curious how that's gonna turn out. So then you're gonna take the dried basil and you're just gonna put a lot of it in there. Hopefully you like dried basil, because there's a lot in here. It's like covered. And then I'm gonna mix it. And you don't want to, mix it like water it down. You want to kind of like go back and forth, so it's kind of thick. So you're gonna like to hear this. If you want, you could have put in like fresh, very, very not thin, but just like base of like caramelized onion in there, not cooked, but just like fresh garlic, not onion, I'm sorry, garlic. But I actually have garlic salt, which is what I do. So you take the garlic salt and you put a bunch of that in there. Again, don't overdo it. Just taste it as you're adding it in. But I already know how much I like, so I just add it in. And just blend it together. Go back and forth again.
Are we also putting our grated cucumber in this?
Yes, we're going to get to that. And then you're going to go to the cucumber. I've already started grating it. The secret here is don't do what Bryson did. He used the smaller side. You want to use the bigger grating. So you see how that looks? Yeah, that's better. Good job. You're learning. So go ahead and just grate an entire cucumber. If you have the English one, you want to do like maybe 3/4 or half of it, depending on how much you like cucumber. Probably half. But if you've got the Persian one, you can do a full. Careful with your fingers. You're going to need that for later. Go ahead and add. So make sure there's going to be a little bit of water, liquid. Get rid of the liquid. And then add the actual cucumber part to the yogurt. Now, do you see how earlier I was explaining that this is such a summer dish? Do you get the vibe?
I do get the.
Go to your garden and pick out all these herbs and vegetables.
That's why I made a summer drink to go with it.
There you go. Exactly. So then mix in the cucumber into that yogurt. If you added too much garlic salt or salt, The good news is you have more yogurt. You can just add more yogurt to offset it, so don't feel bad. But if you didn't add enough and you taste tested it and you liked a little more, obviously add a little more.
I love doing sauces because you just kind of dial it in.
Yeah. I like having
Sorry, what was that?
I like to put things in like pretty saucers and dishes and things like that. So I'll make a mess and I'll use like normal bowls and dishes. And then I'll have my like nice ones, like my cute little ones. So that I learned this from my mom because she likes doing this. So then I'll take like a nice scoop because you don't want to get the sides of it messy, and I'll just scoop it in there pretty, like as though you're gonna take a picture of it, right? So you want it to look good because yogurt can look messy. So it'll look like that. Can you see that?
It looks beautiful.
Thank you. And then I like to make it look pretty on top as well. So I saw this whatchamacallit, little recipe, and the lady had put like some garnishes around it. So you could definitely do, since we used, cucumber, you could take like, to make it look cool, like fancy, you could take a cucumber and kind of create like something fun with it. Not like a design or anything like that, but just on the side.
And what are we doing with the lemon?
That's for the salad and for the salmon. So you just put like a couple of pieces of cucumber on the side, and then it also tells people there's cucumber in this, right? Just to make it pretty. And then you're gonna add maybe like, what do we put in here? Basil. So maybe take a little basil. And kind of put that in the middle, like a flower. What do you think of that?
I think you are doing some great accessorizing. Oh, wow.
It's pretty, right? Then you put that in the fridge because it's got to stay cool. Take your salad out from the fridge. Take a lemon. I like to slice the lemon sideways so you can take the seeds out easily because you don't want seeds in the salad. So if you slice it sideways, it looks like that. And then you'll just take the seeds out very easily with your knife. So voila, all gone. And then just squeeze that guy into your, if you do end up dropping a lemon in there, just make sure you pick it out. Nobody likes lemon in their salads like that. And a little trick, I grab like a baby spoon and I just kind of make sure I get all the good juice out of there. And
or you can be an NFL quarterback and have the grip strength to do it without a spoon.
Or you could do that, yes. I obviously prefer the smarter way, not the harder way.
Actually, quarterbacks need to be pretty smart.
They do. They are. I couldn't agree more.
That was the original metaphor of when Jen Easterly and Chris Inglis were ONCD and CISA director. Is he was the coach and she was the quarterback for U.S. cybersecurity national defense.
Nice. So I made a mess of the bowl, even though I intentionally used the clear one so I can show you all the pretty colors and all that. I like to transfer my stuff like I showed you into pretty things. So you know, if you have like a nice bowl, which I do here, that matches kind of like my yogurt bowl, I'll just transfer it into that in the same kind of way without making a mess.
I almost forgot about the rice. I was about to transfer the salad because we're getting ready to plate here, and I was like, oh, wait a second, there's supposed to be rice. I've forgotten.
So I'll take one of those. Yeah, get your. See, I didn't have rice going. I have an easy rice cooker handling that for me with mine. So make sure you have the spoon that will drain the water or the liquid from the salad, and then you just kind of, you know, put it in a nice bowl. I don't like it to have a bunch of juice at the bottom. At the end, you could put a little bit of the juice on top if you want to, but it doesn't need that. It's already been sitting in there, ceviche style, right? But if you are going to have it last, the juice might help it last, like Bryson said earlier, so you can definitely add some of the juice, the citrus, and so forth.
That is my plate. Do.
Are you done?
I am.
I'm plating, so of course I'm gonna. Or I'm.
Well, we'll have to get a picture of both of our plates in the episode too.
I gave you 1 second. I'm almost. So then I'll put a little bit of pomegranate around the salad, just to make it pretty. So I want to show this too. So if you are doing this and having people over, isn't that pretty?
That is pretty. Oh, that is a lot prettier than mine.
What? That's a lot.
That is a lot prettier than mine.
Well, I'm gonna have people over, I guess. Okay, so now I'm gonna plate mine. So I'll take my quinoa. Whoops, as I'm knocking things over. You guys still there?
We're all still here.
Okay. So take your
Everybody at home is waiting with breathlessly for this. This is the moment.
This is the moment.
The denouement.
Make sure I like to plate it pretty, right? Like everything. Very meticulous like that, if you haven't noticed. So, not doing the best job today, but it's okay. A for effort. So now I'm gonna plate. Do you like to like separate when you do plate, do you like to like just put it on top of each other, or like separate the food so you can see it like visually?
Depends on the meal. Usually like a starch, like a rice, I'll put the fish on top. And this one, I put them in sort of 4 quadrants on the plate.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, quadrants. So I put the yogurt, the mustard one, right next to the salmon, because you kind of eat it with the salmon. That's the whole point, right? And for that flavor, the garlicky flavor too. And let me get the salmon. Is your skin pretty crispy? Your salmon skin?
It is.
Yeah, perfect. And because you did the foil thing, it probably comes out. Look at that salmon. See that? Okay, it's ready. Let me put the yogurt. And voila. Can you
Ready?
see this?
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. Is that enough light?
Yep. You just got to hold it still, and you're welcome to get in the picture with it if you can. Otherwise, we're just showing plates. Got it.
There you go.
Okay. So closing us out tell everybody about how the nonprofit and how they can get involved and or donate.
Thank you for bearing with me. CRI SAC's website, I think you posted it earlier. There's a section at the bottom where you can help donate and contribute with that. Thank you. And yeah, we'd love to get volunteers to sign up. If you have any skills in the OT space, you want to be involved, you have any IT background, but you want to get into OT, or you are a vet who wants to get back into the workforce on this side and you have skill sets that can apply, please join, submit the application. There's a thorough vetting process that you go through, and then you get added to our Slack channel and you become part of the community. So please do definitely jump and join us with that, and come and see us at DEF CON at ICS Village as well. We are looking for strategic partners too. That's the other thing that, remember, we're looking for corporate and strategic alliances and partners in the process. So find me on LinkedIn, send me a message, happy to connect.
Join us every week for another episode. We put the ingredients out in advance so you can cook along with us. Tara, I want to see a picture of that salmon when you make it later. Thank you all.
Thanks.